want to show you a little experiment. You've probably all seen these type of meters. These are the clamp type current meters, amp meters. And so whenever you want to measure current, it's really handy. All you gotta do is just take this and clamp it around any one wire, and it'll measure the current for you. The way it works is relatively simple. Anytime you have current going through a wire, through a conductor, there's a magnetic field that's created around that conductor. What this meter does is it measures that magnetic field and it converts it into an amp reading on the display. And that works really well for relatively large currents. And when I'm talking about large, I'm talking about usually 5 amps and higher. For this demonstration, what I've done is I've hooked up a 60-watt light bulb to a socket. And if you do the math, Watt's law, if you remember Watt's law, it's it is your original pie chart, right? So what we do with Watt's law is we say that the power is equal to the current times the voltage. If this is a 60-watt light bulb and it's 120 volts, and if I do the math and if I take 60 divided by 120, I end up with about 0.5 amps. 0.5 amps. So when I energize this, and I don't know if you can see this display, but it showed me about 0.5 amps, roughly. It's just a little bit more maybe. The problem with this type of apparatus is, in order for me to measure current, I have to clamp around the wire, but it's not very reliable for small currents like this, half an amp. Matter of fact, if I put it around this wire right now, it says about 0.45 amps. I'm surprised it picked that up, to be honest with you. But there's a more accurate way to do this. And I'll show you a trick. So there's a certain amount of magnetic energy that generated around a conductor when there's current going through the conductor. And if I was to take that same wire and form it into a loop with a couple turns, now there's going to be twice as much magnetic field or magnetic flux flowing through these wires. Now if I was to take my amp probe and go around the 2 wires, I would read twice as much current as I am going around just a single wire. So here's a little trick I'm going to show you. If you take some wire and you form it into a coil with 10 turns, and then you measure with your amp meter, the current that you'll read will be 10 times the actual current that you're trying to read. Let me show you how this works. I'm going to put my coil So now my meter is reading 5.4 amps, which is 10 times the amount of current that's actually going through this wire for this light bulb. And depending on the model of your meter, that will determine how accurate your reading is. But generally speaking, all meters, on the low end, their accuracy is not very good. The accuracy starts becoming a lot more prevalent when you're on half scale or higher, towards full scale even. You start getting to the bottom of its capabilities and the accuracy really goes out the window. Anyways, I hope you learned something.